Good morning, everybody. This is Attorney Marjorie Bonelli, and today I'm going to talk about mediation and how it works. So, I get a lot of questions. People get confused as to what mediation is. A lot of people think that it's something you need to do before the judge. You have to go to court to attend mediation, and that's simply not the case. So, let's back up a little bit. So mediation is generally something that happens when you have a litigated case. And it's not only divorce cases, many other cases, breach of contract, construction issues, business issues. So most cases at some point during litigation, they're gonna go to mediation, either voluntarily or mandatory. For example, in divorce cases, most of the time it's mandatory. So it is something that you're probably going to encounter if you've ever been part of a lawsuit or if that happens in the future. So mediation is very simple. It's not in court, it's not before the judge. Obviously, the court system does offer mediation program for lower income individuals. But let's talk about mediation in general. Generally, it is done outside of the court setting. The judge is not ever involved. Actually, everything that you say in mediation is confidential, meaning you can't negotiate and then go before the judge and tell the judge, Your Honor, this person offered me this much during mediation and now he's trying to lowball me. It doesn't work like that. So everything that you talk in mediation, you talk about and discuss during mediation, it's confidential. You cannot leave that setting and go tell the judge or go tell somebody else what was discussed in that process. But it is also informal, meaning you're not before the judge, you're not in court. The mediator is an impartial party. It's someone who is not involved in the case whatsoever. He or she doesn't know anything about your case. Obviously, the attorneys, if you're represented, they're going to give them an idea of what the issues are to be discussed and try to settle, but they don't know details of your case up until the point of the mediation or sometimes a few days before. So in mediation, if you're represented, you're going to go with your attorney, and so is the other party. And then the mediator, generally the parties stay in separate rooms. And the mediator goes back and forth trying to negotiate the terms of a settlement. So also there's something important that you need to keep in mind. If you're represented and you want to speak to your attorney in private, you can do so. You can always ask the mediator to leave the room. And even if it's being done via Zoom or some other type of video conference, there is a way to do that. So it's the same as if you were in person. If you want to speak to your attorney in private without the mediator, you can do that. And anything that you tell the mediator not to share with the other side, the mediator is not going to share with the other side. So it's very informal, but it's also very productive in a way, because if you think about it, which one you would prefer to resolve and make the decision in your case, yourself or the judge? So that's something that I always tell my clients to keep in mind, because if you don't, and this is not to force anybody to settle anything, it needs to be voluntary. The process must be voluntary. Nobody's forcing anybody to do anything. But in mediation, you have the opportunity to choose your own terms. Obviously, you have to go in mediation with an open mind, because if you go with the mindset that, I'm going to win and the other side is gonna lose, most likely it's not gonna be successful. So you have to keep an open mind, because what the mediator is gonna do is try to find middle ground, so to speak, where both parties can agree to settle that case. But it is to your benefit, because if you leave it in the hands of a judge, you don't know what the judge is going to say. A lot of my clients ask, but what are my chances? And that's a very hard question to answer, because we never know how the court's going to decide a case. Sometimes we have cases that are similar, and you've seen it quite a few times on a certain issue, and you think the court's going to rule a certain way, and then you go to trial and the judge does something that nobody was expecting. Because unfortunately, judges are also human beings, and as human beings, we're all bound to make mistakes. And you never know, the person could be having a bad day, you know, they have their own problems as well, you know, so they are flawed, just like we are. So it is the opportunity for the parties to reach a settlement without the court interfering. So obviously it's a good opportunity. You know, I always recommend that you be prepared, discuss with your attorney before going to mediation, make a list of all the issues that you think need to be addressed, and try your hardest to resolve the issues. Sometimes we have a partial settlement and sometimes we have a full settlement. So either way, it's going to be in writing. So once you reach a settlement, everything is going to be in writing and it's going to be signed by both parties, and then you have to set a hearing most likely so the judge can sign the order ratifying that agreement. So it is not complicated. It's not a complicated process. It's a simple process. Like I said, it's informal, it's voluntary, it's confidential. And I really do think it's for the benefit of the parties to try to resolve it instead of continue with litigation, because it can be very frustrating. It can get quite expensive, and it can take years depending on the issue and the situation. So I just wanted to give you all an idea, because I've been getting a lot of phone calls. People seem to get a little confused with the process. They always think that it's something that you need to do before a judge, but that's not the case. So I wanted to clarify some of the misconceptions about mediation. And if you have any other questions or anything you want to ask me, all my information is up in the bio, and the phone number here is 954-474-7703. I hope you all have a great day, and until the next video. Thank you.